You ever notice that pins and needles feeling in your legs? Or how your feet stay cold even when the room is warm? For many people over 60, this is the moment fear quietly creeps in. You start asking yourself, is this just aging, or is my blood flow slowly breaking down? What most people do not realize is that circulation can change fast, sometimes within a single day. And today, I am going to show you 5 simple foods that can start waking your circulation up in as little as 24 hours. Not weeks, not months, tomorrow. And I know that sounds bold, but stick with me because I've spent over a decade researching vascular health and working with nutritionists who specialize in circulatory disorders. What I'm about to share isn't some generic eat healthy advice you've heard 1,000 times. Here's what most people don't realize. The biggest circulation killer after 60 isn't what's blocking your arteries. It's what's making them stiff and rigid. And one of these 5 foods, number 4 specifically, contains a compound so powerful at relaxing blood vessels that pharmaceutical companies have actually tried to synthesize it. So don't skip ahead, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to eat, when to eat it, and the one common mistake that destroys circulation benefits before they ever reach your legs. Let's start with the food that shocks everyone: dark chocolate. Yes, really. And no, this isn't an excuse to raid the candy aisle. Here's what's actually happening inside your body when you eat the right kind of dark chocolate. There's a compound called flavanols, specifically epicatechin, and when this hits your bloodstream, it triggers your blood vessel walls to produce something called nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as a relax signal for your arteries. Your blood vessels literally widen, blood flows easier, and guess where you feel it first? Your extremities, your legs, your feet. A study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that participants who consumed high flavanol cocoa showed measurable improvements in blood vessel function within just 2 hours. 2 hours! But here's where most people mess this up completely. They grab milk chocolate, or chocolate with 50% cocoa, and then they wonder why nothing changes. You need 70% cocoa or higher. And here's the specific amount that works, about 1 ounce per day. That's roughly 2 small squares, no more. Eat it in the morning. Here's why. Your cortisol levels are highest in the morning. Cortisol constricts blood vessels. The flavanols in dark chocolate counteract that constriction right when you need it most. Now, I want you to do something for me. If you're watching this right now and you've been struggling with cold feet or leg discomfort, hit that like button. It helps other people over 60 find this information, and honestly, most of them have no idea that something as simple as dark chocolate could make a difference. But if you think chocolate sounds too good to be true, wait until you hear about garlic. This one's been hiding in plain sight for literally thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians gave garlic to their pyramid builders specifically to increase stamina and endurance. They didn't know why it worked, they just knew their workers could handle more when they ate it. Now we know exactly why. When you crush or chop raw garlic, it releases a compound called allicin. Allicin is volatile. It starts degrading within minutes of being released. But while it's active, it does something remarkable to your blood. It makes your red blood cells more slippery. I know that sounds strange, but here's what's happening at the cellular level. Allicin reduces the stickiness of red blood cells and platelets. They flow past each other more easily. There's less friction, less resistance. And in your leg arteries, especially the smaller vessels near your feet, that reduced friction means dramatically improved blood flow. A study from the University of Adelaide found that garlic supplementation reduced blood pressure by up to 10 points in people with hypertension. Lower blood pressure plus more flexible blood cells equals one thing: better circulation to your legs. Now, here's the part that makes most people quit too early. Garlic needs to be raw to get the maximum allicin benefit. Cooking destroys most of it. So what do? Crush 1 clove of raw garlic. Let it sit for 10 minutes. This is crucial. The enzyme that creates allicin needs oxygen exposure to activate fully. Then mince it finely and add it to food you're about to eat. Not food you're about to cook. food that's already done. Sprinkle it on salads, add it to hummus, mix it into already cooked vegetables. The taste is strong, I won't lie to you, but if you've been dealing with leg pain, numbness, or coldness, you'll happily trade a little garlic breath for legs that actually feel alive again. Now here's where it gets interesting though. Oatmeal isn't just for breakfast anymore, not when you understand what it does to your blood vessels. Most people think oatmeal is about fiber, about cholesterol, about heart health in some vague way. But here's what nobody explains properly. Oatmeal contains a specific type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan. And beta-glucan doesn't just sit in your digestive system doing nothing. It actively binds to bile acids in your gut. Why does that matter for your legs? Because when beta-glucan grabs onto those bile acids and escorts them out of your body, your liver has to make more bile. And what does your liver use to make bile? Cholesterol, specifically LDL cholesterol, the type that builds up in your artery walls and restricts blood flow. So every bowl of oatmeal is essentially forcing your body to vacuum LDL cholesterol out of your bloodstream. And less LDL means cleaner, more flexible arteries, which means better circulation to your legs. Now here's the timing trick nobody mentions. Eat oatmeal in the morning within 2 hours of waking up. Your body processes fiber most efficiently early in the day, and your cholesterol metabolism is most active before noon. And don't reach for the instant packets. The processing strips out a significant portion of beta-glucan. You want steel-cut or old-fashioned rolled oats. Now here's where you can stack benefits. Remember that dark chocolate from earlier? Sprinkle a tablespoon of cacao nibs on top of your oatmeal. You're combining 2 circulation-boosting foods in one meal. Before I show you the 4th food, drop a comment below and tell me where you're watching from right now. Whether you're in Florida, the UK, Canada, Australia, wherever you are. When you comment, it helps this video reach more people over 60 who are dealing with the same circulation problems. You might help someone in your own city find answers they've been searching for. Alright, now this next food is the heavy hitter. Fatty fish. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, herring. This is the one I mentioned in the beginning, the one that pharmaceutical companies have tried to replicate. They've spent billions of dollars trying to synthesize what's naturally found in these fish, and they've come close, but nothing matches the original. I'm talking about omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. Here's what makes omega-3s different from everything else we've discussed. Dark chocolate relaxes blood vessels. Garlic makes blood cells slippery. Oatmeal clears cholesterol. But omega-3 fatty acids actually change the structure of your cell membranes. Every cell in your body, including the cells that line your blood vessels, gets more flexible, more fluid, more responsive. This isn't a temporary effect. This is rebuilding your circulatory system at the cellular level. But here's why you can feel the difference within 24 hours. Omega-3s also reduce inflammation almost immediately. They block the production of inflammatory compounds called prostaglandins and leukotrienes. When your blood vessel walls are inflamed, they swell inward. The space for blood to flow gets smaller. It's like trying to drink a thick milkshake through a regular straw versus a wide straw. Reduce the inflammation, and suddenly there's more room for blood to flow. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that participants showed reduced blood vessel inflammation within 24 hours of consuming omega-3 rich fish. Not supplements, actual fish. Here's your prescription. 3 to 4 ounces of fatty fish eaten in the evening. Why evening? Because omega-3s are most effectively absorbed when eaten with other fats. Your dinner typically contains more fat than your breakfast or lunch. Plus, the anti-inflammatory effects will work overnight while your body repairs itself during sleep. You'll wake up with less stiffness, less morning numbness, legs that actually feel rested. Now, I know some people are thinking, I don't like fish, or fish is expensive. Canned sardines, about $2 a can. Same omega-3 benefits as expensive fresh salmon. Eat them on crackers, mix them into salads, mash them with avocado. Not glamorous, but incredibly effective. Alright, we've covered the 4 main circulation-boosting foods, but everything we've discussed only works optimally if you understand one final piece: beets. If there's one food that creates almost instant changes in your circulation, it's this one. Remember earlier when I talked about nitric oxide? How it relaxes blood vessels and improves blood flow. Dark chocolate helps your body produce nitric oxide. But beets contain nitrates that convert directly into nitric oxide. It's like a shortcut. Your mouth contains bacteria that start converting beet nitrates the moment you start chewing. Within 30 minutes, nitric oxide levels in your blood start rising. Within 2 to 3 hours, blood flow to your extremities measurably improves. A study at the University of Exeter found that dietary nitrates from beets reduce the oxygen cost of exercise by up to 5%. For someone over 60 with poor leg circulation, that 5% can mean the difference between a walk around the block feeling easy versus feeling impossible. Here's how to use beets for maximum impact. Eat them raw or lightly roasted in the afternoon, between lunch and dinner. This times the peak nitric oxide production for early evening, when most people experience their worst leg symptoms. You can also drink beet juice, about 4 to 6 ounces, but the effects are stronger and faster with juice. Some people experience a dramatic blood pressure drop if they drink too much too quickly. Start with a small amount, see how you respond. Now, let me tie this all together for you. Picture this. It's tomorrow morning. You wake up and swing your legs over the side of the bed, but something feels different. That heavy, dead feeling isn't there. Your feet aren't ice cold. When you stand up, your legs feel lighter. You walk to the kitchen, no tingling, no numbness creeping up your calves. By afternoon, you realize you haven't thought about your legs once. Not because you're ignoring a problem, but because there's nothing demanding your attention. This is what happens when you give your blood vessels what they've been starving for. Dark chocolate in the morning for vessel relaxation. Oatmeal to clear the cholesterol. Raw garlic to smooth your blood cells. Beets in the afternoon for that nitric oxide boost, and fatty fish at dinner to rebuild your circulatory system while you sleep. Within 24 hours, you start feeling the difference. Within a week, the changes become undeniable. But here's what I need you to understand. Improving circulation to your legs is only step 1, because once that blood is flowing better, your muscles can finally get the oxygen and nutrients they've been missing. That means they can actually get stronger again. But most people over 60 don't know how to rebuild their leg strength safely. They either push too hard and hurt themselves, or they don't do enough. That's exactly why I created another video specifically about the safest, most effective ways to strengthen your legs after 60, even if you haven't exercised in years. Click on that video right now because it picks up exactly where this one leaves off. You'll have the circulation, now let's give you the strength to actually use those legs the way you deserve. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss these videos. I release new content every week specifically designed to help you move better, feel better, and enjoy your life after 60. I'll see you in the next video.